All right, we are back with another video, and I want you to picture a scene with me real quick. It's a Saturday, you're gonna have some people over, it's a good group of people, and you don't know what to make. You need something quick, you need something kind of exotic, and that will wow some people. Well, we are going to learn how to make pozole verde today, all right? My mom actually got upset at me the first time I made pozole because she said that it's rojo, nothing else. It has to be rojo, pozole rojo. And I started making pozole verde. I love it. I think it's an incredible recipe. It's one of my family's favorite things to make. So we're going to go ahead and make that today and join us as we get this all prepped. I'm no professional. I wanted to be a restaurateur when I was younger, worked in professional kitchens for about 8 years, but the call of ministry has always been on my heart. So now I'm a worship pastor and stay-at-home dad, but just want to do some fun things on the side. I think a lot of people are super intimidated by cooking, and I hope that as we make this kind of casual, because I don't have a professional kitchen, my kids are home, my wife is home, they might be popping in and out. I just want to make this as non-intimidating of a process as I can. And also, as far as like recipes go, most of the recipes I do, they're not finite. So you can add more cilantro, you could add less cilantro, you could have more chicken, you could have less chicken, you could sub pork. You just should experiment and try to have fun and see what works for you. But this is the recipe that I normally use. So that's enough talking. Let's get started. First off, we're gonna go ahead and prep all of our ingredients. All our vegetables need to be washed. All of our vegetables need to be chopped and sliced. And then we'll get rolling. That is called mise en place, which basically just means to have everything in its place so that when we get to cooking, we can just have fun. We're not running around with our heads cut off because our protein is gonna overcook, and we still need to chop up our onions to add, and that's the next step, and and it just all piles up. And so then you get super frazzled. This is one of the biggest things that I see with home cooks is that they don't do their mise en place, they don't read the recipe ahead of schedule, so that whenever a recipe comes up and they're like, uh-oh, I don't have that prepped, now they're freaking out because they have to get it prepped, and then stuff starts to burn. So this is a super important, if I could stress anything, is just make sure you do your mise en place. So let's do that now. And if you want a list of all the ingredients, I'm gonna have them in the description below, but I'm also going to go ahead and pop them all up on the screen in 3, 2, 1, pause. So as far as our vegetables go, we have a pound of tomatillos. So these are not like green tomatoes. They have this husk on them. They look like that. Come on, focus camera. Don't look at my face. There you go. So you're gonna want to peel all of these husks off of these tomatillos. This is actually incredible. This little bowl is for rice, but you can also use it to clean your veggies. So I'm gonna go ahead and peel all of these, plop them right into this because they need to be washed off. They're a little sticky. All right, I've got all of my tomatillos husked. So we also, for garnish, this is for garnish, we've got our radishes. You're really just gonna take all your veggies, put them in this bowl that is then gonna get rinsed. Be efficient. No reason that you have to keep running back and forth from the sink to clean off all your stuff. Just do it all at one time. Another tip too, have a discard bowl. I have a discard bowl right off of camera, so I can just throw all my stuff in there. And then every once in a while, just make my way over to the trash can and just dump it all out. All right, we've got all of our radishes. We've just peeled off the tops of these. These are for garnish later after the soup is done, but I'm gonna throw these in that bowl too. Now that we've done all that, let's take this over to the sink and clean them all off. All right, our veggies are now cleaned, so we can prep our veggies now. We're also gonna wanna go ahead and grab a big sheet pan. These sheet pans by Nordic Ware are incredible. I'll try to remember to put a link in the description. Grab some nice olive oil, and then these squeeze bottles are a game changer. Flip the top, you can pour, but then also you can squirt. Super great, one of my favorite kitchen gadgets that I bought in recent memory. So now we're gonna set this off to the side. And here's where the prepping begins. All right, so we're going to take our white onion, chop the end off of that, go down the middle here, and we're gonna peel it. So you're gonna want a white onion for the actual broth, but then you also want another white onion for the garnish. This right here is for the broth. What we're just gonna do is we're really just gonna quarter it or eighth it, whatever you wanna do. Just make it into more manageable pieces, and we're gonna throw that right onto our sheet pan. Same thing with this guy. A nice sharp knife is your friend here. Makes it easier and way safer. Now I've got 4 cloves of garlic here. Those are just gonna go right onto the pan too. Then we're going to take our poblanos. And we're gonna cut the top off of those, seed them real quick. And we're going to make those into more manageable pieces as well, right on top of there. We're gonna try to have as little waste as we can. Same thing with this poblano. Just gonna quickly seed it. If a few seeds get in there, it's not a big deal, but we just wanna get as many off as we can. And manageable pieces. We're not looking for perfection here. This is all gonna get blended up later. All right, now we're going to take, now this part is one of those situations where you can customize it. I have little kids. One of them actually loves spicy stuff. The other one can't handle it. So if I were to be making it just for myself, I'd want to throw probably 2 jalapeños in there, all the seeds, all the veins in, so that it would boost up in spiciness. But because I'm doing it for some kiddos, I'm gonna keep these other jalapeños for garnish, and then this one, I'm going to actually seed. And the best way that I find to seed these is that I actually take my knife up here and just cut around the seeds just like that. So then we have all of the seeds right there, and then we just have the flesh left over. We're gonna go ahead and take those. They don't need to be diced up any more than that. Those are good. Gonna wipe off my board a little bit. And then we're going to take our tomatillos. Okay, this one's a little worse for the wear, but that's okay. We're going to cut off these gross bits on this guy, but then the rest of them, it just depends on how big they are. Like this one's pretty small, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that in half. This one's a little bit bigger, so we're gonna go in quarters, and we're just throwing them right there all onto our baking sheet. All right, there we go. We got all our veggies all prepped onto our baking sheet. And now what we're going to do, squirt it with some more oil. And then we're gonna just season these up just a little bit with some cracked pepper and some salt. Now we're just gonna give it a quick mix. Get to know your food a little bit. Get a little hands-on. There's nothing wrong with that. And you just want a nice even layer. I like to make sure that my garlic are not covered, because the garlic getting roasted is gonna taste just up the flavor of that garlic. And then we're gonna go ahead and take this over and set it to the side. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pressure cook my chicken thighs. You don't have to do that. You can boil them off just until they're completely cooked through, around 200 degrees internal, and that they fall apart really easily. But I like the Instant Pot because I feel like it actually shoves the the broth into the chicken thighs. I don't know if that's actually like scientifically true, but I just feel like it does, and it's easier for me anyway. Also, a quick note about chicken thighs, do not use chicken breast, all right? Chicken thighs are way better. If anyone tells you anything different, they're lying to you, okay? I don't know if they should be your friend. Chicken thighs, they handle high heat better. I think they taste way better shredded too. They have a better texture. So we're gonna use chicken thighs. So we're going to do about 2 cups of chicken broth. Gonna put that into our Instant Pot, and we're going to set that for 8 minutes. Then we're going to do a natural release, which just means that we want the indicator to pop down on its own. That just makes sure that the fibers of your protein relax, and so you're gonna be left with a much more tender product. Also, this is better than bouillon, way better than the cubes. I actually like it even better than the cartoned broth. This stuff lasts in your fridge. Doesn't take a lot. There's like I would say like something like 20 or 30 cups worth of broth in here. Love this. Keep it in your fridge at all times. All you really need for a pressure cooker, I'm using an Instant Pot. All you need as far as liquid goes when you're doing proteins is at least 1 cup. We're just gonna do 2. I'm gonna bring you with me. Yeah, right here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and throw our broth in first. All of it right in there. And then we're just gonna take our chicken thighs and put them right on in there. Spread them out if you can. Wash your hands. So we're gonna go ahead and put our lid on. And then we're gonna set it for 8 minutes at high pressure, and we're gonna press start. We're gonna let that do its thing. The nice thing there, we don't have to worry about, here we go. We don't have to worry about things boiling over and keeping an eye on a pot. It's just gonna do its thing. It's gonna yell at us when it's done. We're gonna take all our veggies that we just got done prepping onto our sheet pan. We're gonna throw those into the oven on broil on the top rack, and then we're gonna keep a close eye on it. But really what we're looking for is we're looking for char on the edges of all our veggies. You can go as black as you want, you can go as light as you want, but you want at least some color on all of your veggies. There's no real science to this. There's no real time that I can give you that it'll take to get those veggies all nice and charred up. But all I will say is that you do have to keep an eye on them. It's on broil. I have a gas oven, and so it can get away from you really fast. But while that's going, let's go ahead and prep the rest of our garnish and our ingredients. For the soup itself, for the broth itself, we're gonna take a whole bunch of cilantro. Not like a whole bunch of cilantro, just 1 bunch of cilantro. And we're gonna rinse this off because there's a lot of dirt in these. Now that those have been rinsed off, we're going to go ahead and cut off all the stems. Just like that. Doesn't need to be perfect. These are all going to be blended. This is super important. You have to have this. You have to have this for pozole. This is what makes pozole. And it's very, very good. I love it. My kids love it. So you're gonna want 2 of these cans. Let's get them cracked open and ready. And guess what? You remember that veggie cleaner that we had from earlier? It's useful for this too, because we can take our hominy, empty it out. Now you can leave some of the liquid in here. You don't have to rinse them off. It'll thicken your pozole a little bit, but I find it just makes it almost like kind of a starchy kind of consistency, which I'm not a big fan of. So we're going to go ahead and rinse our hominy. Give it a good mix so we can just really make sure that all the grains are off of this, the graininess is off. And then use this to drain it off. Just like that. And now we've got our hominy set. Getting all of this done now is so helpful, because then once we get going and we need these ingredients, we're not gonna have to be cracking open can, draining it, rinsing it, all of that stuff. We're already ready to go. You've heard me on my channel before say in reels and stuff like that I love deli containers. I am prepping for a party, a surprise party for my wife. So I want to get all of these done ahead of time for this party. And so I'm gonna use my deli containers to get that mission accomplished. So the best way that I've found is that I cut at an angle, kind of like you're cutting into a circle all the way around. By the time you reach the top, you're now coming straight down. But then as you cross over the center section, now we're going at an angle back towards the center. I personally, I'm gonna discard this because it's got still some of the skin on there, but I find this gives me the most consistent, easiest, pain-free way of getting me some small diced onions. Dog, if you eat that, you're gonna die. Dogs can't eat onions. All right, that's all diced up. Now take a look at that. That's great. Didn't have to do anything fancy, didn't have to cut it in half. Like, it's nice and small diced. And we're gonna go ahead and put that into one of our deli containers. You can use a bench scraper, but I love this, I think it's called a cloves. Might be a cloves. But it's basically a cleaver and knife by Babish. I love this thing, it's great. And it acts as like a bench scraper. So now I got all my onions in here and I can slap a lid on it and call that good. All right, got another sized deli container. We're going to do some jalapeños. Again, I like, a lot of this is just about texture and adding texture. But I also don't want giant chunks of anything. So that's why I small dice my onions. That's also why I suggest really making thin slices of jalapeno. I just feel like that delicate touch helps a lot, doesn't overwhelm your mouth whenever you get a jalapeno slice in your mouth. So we're going to go ahead and cut these into slices, like so. Remember, I want to remind you, if you're cooking along at home, keep checking on your broiling veggies. We're looking real close. Not quite, but we're looking really close. I really like it to be darkened up around the edges. So here we go. We got our jalapenos. Going to do the same thing with this one. Just like that. Look how thin those are. That's going to be perfect for me. Add some spice, add some of that vegetal flavor without overwhelming your spoonful. Here we go. Slap a lid on that guy, call it done. And we're gonna go ahead and take a look at our veggies. Oh yeah, check that out. We got some char on those veggies. They're really starting to soften up. That is perfect for me. We're gonna set that off to the side. Aha, you hear that? We are now done with the pressure cooking. Now we're gonna let it go until it completely naturally releases. Right here, focus. There you are. All right, so we grab our blender and our blender vessel. And we're gonna load this thing up. Be careful, it's really hot. All them juices you want in there too. All of it. I just went ahead and got some chicken broth, just a little bit, probably about a cup. We're gonna put that right on in there. We're gonna get a few cracks of salt, our cilantro bunch, okay? We're going to stick that right on in there. And then we're going to pulse this until everything is completely broken down. Now, if you have a Vitamix, good for you. I can't afford a Vitamix, but if I had a Vitamix, I would totally get this sucker down until it's completely emulsified and homogeneous. We're just going to basically go until we at least had a lot of the cilantro broken up and the tomatillos, but let's go ahead and rip this. If you need to, you can always pause and scrape some stuff down. This is not the greatest blender in the world, but hey, it works. You don't need the nicest things in the world to make yummy food. Boom shakalaka. Yeah, that's looking nice. All right, that's all you need. And now we're gonna go ahead and grab a large pot. Something like this, and we're gonna go ahead and put the heat on something like low, medium low. We feel that? Yeah, we're getting up to temp here. So this step, it's not high heat cooking, so I like to use some extra virgin olive oil just to add a little bit more depth of flavor. And we're gonna put a pretty good amount in there. I would say something like maybe 2 tablespoons, something like that. Then we're going to take our concoction that we just got done blending up, and we're going to add that in. Be very careful, it's gonna splatter. What I tell you, it's gonna splatter just like that. So just be super careful and start mixing as soon as you can. That'll help with the sputtering, but please be careful here. The reason that we're doing this is because we're kind of cooking off some of that vegetal flavor. You're gonna just keep going until it starts to darken in color. Constantly move this, keep it moving around. This will help with it not sputtering. If you find that it's sputtering too much, you can lower the heat a little bit. If you find that it's not turning color quick enough, you can raise it. Again, I don't want you guys to be so glued to a recipe that you forget to just use your senses. Use your smell, use your sight, use your hearing. I mean, I love listening to music while I cook, but I also don't have it so high that I can't hear if something's sputtering, if something's sizzling, if something's not sizzling. Those things are all important, but don't be afraid. Mess around with the settings a little bit. Google search. I Google search to this day. If I'm like, hey, should it be doing this? Or I broke this sauce, how should I re-emulsify it? Stuff like that. There's no shame in looking that stuff up. We're just looking for these flavors to kind of mellow out a little bit. I think it helps a little bit with the acidity of the tomatillos, helps with the poblanos so they're not as vegetal, help kind of cook out that cilantro a little bit too. Okay, that's really looking to be the color that I'd like it to be right now. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is we're going to set this on low, cover it up, and we're gonna turn our attention to our chicken. Okay, so our pressure just dropped on our chicken. We're gonna release that seal and pop her open. Oh yeah, here, let me get my phone so I can capture this. This chicken is so tender, and even just touching it, it starts to fall apart. So these are done. But I have an idea for something, so let me go grab my wife. Hey Morgan, come here. I want you to help me real quick. Okay, I've used this thing, but my wife hasn't. I want to see how easy this thing is to use. So I'm gonna ask you, you look great.
Oh, my hair done.
It's okay, just come over here. You do it. Exactly. See if you can figure it out. Yeah, but the chicken's ready. Here. Here's some chicken. I don't know. Sure.
Hey, guys, go pause the TV. Is that how you do it?
I think so. All right, let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, look at that.
Good?
How easy was that?
Really easy.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you do? What on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give it?
10.
Oh yeah? Yep, you're just wanting to shred up that chicken, get it really nice and shredded up, because that's gonna go in our chicken, and then we can go ahead and put that onto,
Dump it out on here?
Yep, just go ahead and dump it out. And we'll do that with the rest of our chicken. Thanks. Morgan's going to make the kids some lunch in the background, and I'm just gonna keep on cooking here. You can see that all of this chicken's, I mean, it's so ready. That's why I love chicken thighs. This chicken is just falling apart already. And we're going to use this chicken shredder here. I'll give you guys a better look again so you can look. I bought this at at a thrift store for like $3. Brand new, still in the packaging and everything. And I actually love this thing. I ended up finding it on Amazon. So I will put a link in the description for this as well. But we just give it a couple twists and turns like that and all shredded up. We're gonna do that to all of our chicken. Can you leave that alone, please? Oh, thank you. That's very sweet of you. Oh, very nice. Yeah, get that in there. Well, let's see. I really overloaded it that time. How's it gonna do? That was 3 chicken thighs. Man, I think this thing's incredible because I used to use these things, and these things still have a place. These are the bear paws. These things still have a place in the kitchen because you wouldn't be able to do something like pulled pork on this. It's just too small. But for something like chicken, for smaller batches of pork, it's incredible. Because just look at that. That would have taken way longer to do with the bear paws. Nuh-uh, you just know, huh? You're the one that cooks all the dinner at home? No. It's awesome. I love it. It's incredible. And now we're just gonna rinse this off. All right, let's move you over back to our pot here. Right there. Oh yeah, you get a nice little view of my son playing with magnets. Oh yeah, that's looking great. Here, see if I can show you. It's darkened in color. You can see it's darkened in color. It's smelling incredible. So let's go ahead, add the rest of our broth into this. And I'm gonna actually use this pot. We're really gonna fill this thing up. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and load this up. All right, so I have a measurement on the side of my pot here, and it says that we put about 20 cups of broth in here all together. Let's go ahead and give it a taste test and see how we're looking. That's tasting really good. We're going to go ahead and still add some salt here. Now the thing with adding salt, don't taste it right away. Go ahead and stir it real quick. We want that salt to dissolve, and then we're gonna taste test and adjust accordingly. If you go in for a taste immediately, that salt's not gonna be dissolved. Most likely is just sitting on the bottom of your pot. So you want to make sure that it is completely incorporated first. All right, let's take another taste. That's tasting really good. Now we're gonna go ahead and crank this up to medium-high heat. Put the lid back on. We're gonna let it come up to temp. At this point, let's get back over and finish prepping the rest of our garnish. This is the life of having only one camera and your phone. But hey, we make do with what we've got. All right, we're going to go ahead and prep our radishes now. I am going to use this kind of safety mandolin to get them to a consistent size, but you're really just looking to slice them nice and thin. See, but that looks great to me. So we're gonna do that to all our radishes. In no time, we've prepped all our radishes. If you're Latino and you've made any sort of dish that requires radishes, you know how annoying small slicing radishes can be, and we just did that super quickly. We're gonna go ahead and load those up into our deli container, and you guessed it, put a lid on that. There we go. Now, traditionally, you would use cabbage for pozole. I'm using lettuce because my wife does not like cabbage. Mexicans, please be easy on me. But we're gonna go ahead and slice these up. Kalima! Dunzo, just like that, we got our shredders, and we will go ahead and put that all into our deli container as well. In fact, we're gonna need 2 deli containers for this. But you don't care, because you bought one of those fancy 60 packs of deli containers, and you got so many, and you can double these as prep containers, and so that's why you do it. And yeah, I got a comment about using glass containers because it's 2025, but guess what? In this economy, I can't afford that. I can't afford to have 60 glass containers just for my prepping. Sorry, triggered. Queso Fresco. This stuff is incredible on pozole. There's really no alternative to this. This is what I recommend. You can't really put any other cheese on it, in my humble opinion. Queso Fresco. Let's break this open. We're gonna have a deli container ready, and we're just going to break it apart. I like to cut an X into it so then I can just easily peel it out just like that. Throw it in our discard container, and then I wash my hands, so we all good. We're just gonna break it up just like this into manageable pieces. Not too small, not too big. We're really looking for pieces that are kind of like this. Break all those up. And now that they're broken up, you guessed it, we're gonna put it in our deli container. Just like that. Wash our hands, because that got way dirtier than I was expecting. And we're going to, say it with me, put a lid on it. Is that gonna be my thing? I don't know. All right. And we're gonna set that aside. Oh my gosh, we have so much cheese left over, hold on. No waste here. No waste here. Okay. Okay, now we're going to put a lid on it. There we go. And now we've got our cilantro. Now, this has already been rinsed off, so we get all those grains out of it. I'm gonna rip off some of these bad looking leaves here. And then we're just looking to slice these up nice. If your knife is sharp enough, it's not going to crush the leaves. It's actually going to cut them so they're not gonna get all bruised and wilted and just nasty looking. And they should look something like that. Not bruised, nice and ribbony. I don't like having massive chunks of cilantro in my stuff. Again, I feel like if you can just get things uniform and small, then whenever you take a bite, it's not one flavor that's overwhelming everything else. So the same concept applies here, and we're going to go ahead and set this in our deli container as well. Boom. All right, now our pozole should be ready to incorporate the rest of our ingredients and let them all come up to temp. So we've got our hominy right here, and we've got our chicken right here. We're gonna add that to the pot. Join me. Just like that. Cool. Let's go ahead and add that in there. We're up to a small boil. It's looking great. Gonna go ahead and add our hominy. Be careful, you don't want to get splashed here. And we're going to add our chicken. Just like that, give it a nice stir here, and we're gonna let that come up to temp. Just until all the ingredients are heated through. All right, and just like that, all we're doing is waiting for our soup to come up to temp. Now, you could just do all the steps for the soup and then do all your prepping for your garnish right now. That's even one less thing off your plate to have to worry about. But I hope that you could see that even while talking to the camera, I was able to do all of my prep work, get my soup ready for a large group of people, and still wasn't stressed out, or at least I hope I didn't look stressed out. And then look, we've got all of our ingredients all prepped in containers. We also have some sour cream here for garnish as well. You need the sour cream, and that can just sit in the fridge and wait until your party arrives. And so that's gonna be a couple hours for me. I'm just gonna leave this pot going. The longer it's going, the better it's gonna taste. The other thing with pozole is it's almost always tastes better the next day. So you can prep this a day in advance, let it be in the fridge, pop it onto the stove whenever your party is about to start, get it up to temp, and it's gonna even taste better the next day. So we're gonna wait until this comes up to temp, then we're going to plate up and give it a taste. So while I was off camera, I gave this a taste again and felt like it needed a little bit more bouillon in it. So I put about a tablespoon more of the paste in here. Now it's tasting just about perfect and it's heated all the way through. So let's plate up. All right, here we go. Let's plate up. A good amount of this chicken and hominy. And then I am a broth man. I love broth and soups like this. So we're gonna plate that up just like that. Here we go. That is looking incredible. Let's bring this down a little bit here so y'all can join in on the fun. So we got our soup here. This is the fun thing with pozole, is that what you do is you're just gonna set all of these out on the counter, take off the lids when you're ready for everyone to start plating up, and then people get to basically just load up with what they want. So I'm gonna take some of these off. Please hold. All right, we got the lids off all our stuff, and I know what I'm gonna want to put down first so it kind of gets incorporated in is some queso fresco. Just like that. I want some radishes. I want some shredders. A little bit of cilantro, some onions, just like that. I'm gonna put just a little bit more cheese on top just for the look of it. And then I'm going to take some of this sour cream, dollop it right there. And then I'm sure a lot of you were screaming at me, but I don't like to put it in the soup. I like to put it on the side of the soup, but we've got some. It looks sus, but it's Mexican oregano. Looks just like this. You really can't have pozole without some Mexican oregano. I'm gonna crush that up just like that right over on top. I've said this before, there's nothing wrong with taking the extra moment to clean up your plate, especially if you're presenting to people. Clean up your plate. Make it look nice and good. That oregano smells incredible. And voila, we have our Pozole Verde. All right, there we have it. We made our Pozole Verde. I know it's gonna be a hit for your party. It's such a fun dish. It's a communal dish where everyone gets to kind of make what they want, put in it what they want. It's fresh. It's also heartwarming. It's just a great dish. It's no wonder that a lot of times in Mexico, we make this dish for celebrations, parties, stuff like that. But enough talking, let's give it a taste real quick. Got a little bit of everything in here. It's so bright. It's so fresh. The chicken is super tender and it's just perfect. And then the creaminess from the sour cream and the queso fresco just add dimension to it too. And then you have all the different textures of like radishes and the shredders and the oregano is just so, it just all comes together for an awesome dish. So this is gonna be a hit. I know it's gonna be. If you give it a try, please let me know. Tag me in it, post it in your stories, tag me in it. I'd love to see you try this. And thanks for coming along. I hope this encourages you to put on an apron and get your hands dirty in the kitchen and make something that you've never made before. Thanks a lot for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and just share this profile. This is really just me trying to make a community around cooking and hopefully encourage y'all to give it a shot. Thanks again. Hey, Morgan, you wanna try it on camera? Okay. Oh yeah.
All right.
Honest reaction.
Mom, I ate it on the computer. That guess what?
What do you think?
Dad, guess what?
Good.
I ate a
Best one yet.
You ate an onion?
No
He means a radish, I think.
Oh,
You ate a
radish. Ready? Here we go.
Ready?
Oh, oh,
He really likes it.
oh.
He said he's gonna eat a bunch now. Huh.
Make it for yourself. It's always a hit. It's great with the kids. They can put in what they want and experiment with some different toppings. You might like something different in yours, like actual cabbage. Love you guys. Thanks for watching.